Hey everybody, Lance Bell here, mind of a black moderate conservative. And I come to you today only because former President Obama finally endorsed Joe Biden. Now it's time to talk about who he's going to have for his running mate. Now, with that being said, Biden put himself in a lose-lose situation. I better explain. When he said that he's going to elect a woman as his running mate, that did two things. Number one, he boxed himself into a corner, which he should have never done. He should have let this thing play out naturally if he was going to do that and go from there. Number two, if he loses, and I believe he will, he set women's rights back so far. You're going back to pre-suffrage era for women. And that's one thing I know at the onset he wasn't trying to do, but all the, glass ceiling stuff, he just hurt himself more than anything else. Now, since he did say he was going to elect a woman to be his running mate, let's look at this. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to look at the main women that he could nominate. So with that being said, this is in no particular order. So we're going to start with the big one in the room, and that is Elizabeth Warren. Now, she will not be his running mate. And there's two reasons for this. One, nobody, and I mean nobody, wants Hillary Clinton version 2.0. Let's just call it what it is. She would be Clinton version 2.0. Not necessarily pulled a stunt, but she kind of ran in 2016, but let's be real. She was amping up for this race, and it fell flat on her face. Number two, let me throw something by people. North Dakota, Oklahoma, Nevada, New Mexico, and Arizona. Now, what do these 5 states have in common? Well, I'm going to tell you. They have large Native American populations, and that is not going to fly with them. And you put those 5 states automatically off the table. And talk about a fall. She was riding high until people realized she was Clinton 2.0. It was game over. Your next person, and this is one I've talked about in the past, and that is Senator Kamala Harris. Now look, guys, I've said this months ago. If she is anywhere near this ticket, California's in play. Now, before anybody says California's deep blue, hear me out on this. If you go back and look at her track record as a prosecutor, a DA, and the, whatever they call it there in California, my mind's drawing a blank here at the moment. Look at her track record on crime, pointed towards people of color, of any stripe. That is a non-starter in that state. And I will say this, and this is actually advice for President Trump. If I'm Trump, if you're going to run ads in California, I would be running against Biden. I'll run him against Kamala Harris and point directly to her record and put them all on the urban stations and browbeat everybody into it because it's public record. And even in super progressive California, they got to step up and take notice. Now, moving on. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. Now, down here in Ohio, we don't know much about her. We really don't. Now, she'll get traction in the upper Midwest because she is in Minnesota. I just don't see it. I really don't. She'd be more of a background VP, and maybe that's what he wants. And I know the news has been out there about the Biden camp reaching out to her Now, as of this filming, it remains to be seen if he would pick Klobuchar. I don't want to say yes, no, not sure, no idea. But here in the Midwest, I just don't see it. I really don't. And nationally, we don't know much about her. So I know she was in the Democratic primaries and this and that. And like I said, I just don't know. Your next one is Tulsi Gabbard. Now, I'll keep this one brief. Now, being out of Hawaii, she'll get a lot of West Coast votes, and it'll definitely help Hawaii in Biden's case. But I'm gonna say this one time. She just doesn't have the horses, number one, for a national race because she was suppressed by the media at large. And number two, the far left just don't like her. And that's sad to say because I think she actually kind of had a chance if she was given the chance. But she's basically a blue dog Democrat at the end of the day. That's all she is. And forget anything else. That's bottom line. That's what she is. She might have had a chance with moderates and some progressives. And finally, I'm going to go to this name. And I know she has absolutely no chance. And that is former Georgia House Minority Leader Stacey Abrams. Now, her name gets thrown around in some circles. I'm reading this article from Reuters right now. Her name gets brought up. And let's get real, folks. She tried to play the double victim card when she ran for governor in Georgia. That is going to be a non-starter in a lot of the country. Guaranteed. Once you start digging into what happened in that gubernatorial race down there. Now, she does have a name. It is out there. But on a national stage, once you start digging into it, she has no chance. Zero. None. Well, that's my views on this. Please let me know in the comments. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I looking this the wrong way? Please let me know.